Daybreak. As you see these two players there, Startail versus Vitrus Pro, sLivko versus Bomber.
It's going to be good, no question about that. Macro focus map, and here we go.
That's right, big map for both of these players. There's no all-ins coming from sLivko in this game, that is for sure. Bomber, most likely command center first, would be very surprised if it wasn't, and I think Bomber's gonna love it. He loves the split map scenario, and that's what he can be given here.
IPL 5. Welcome to IPL 5 Daybreak.
Yes, indeed, folks. IPL 5 Daybreak. A classic map, certainly, for a macro-focused game between these two players. We're going to kick it off here with the Terran. In the red trunks, it is
Startail Bomber.
He's looking ready, he's looking unfazed thus far. It's going to be a very long tournament for him, as it is for anyone starting, of course, in the winners round 1. But it could be even longer for his opponent, who's currently down 1 map in this best-of-3 series. Playing Zerg. In the blue trunks, it is
Virtus Pro sLivko.
And the wonderful observing from Startail Legend as well.
living up to his name, as always.
That is right. He is a funny guy. He's a very funny guy. But one guy that isn't funny right now is sLivko with a very serious face.
He's not messing around.
He was so incredibly close to winning that previous game. Bomber managed to hold on to his main, and from there on out, as mentioned, if he was to hold, then his upgrades and so on, his technology, would give him the edge going into the next part of the game. So he didn't lose too many SCVs, lost a few, but he was already 10 to 15 ahead of his opponent, so he was okay. And there we do see the command center first, as expected on a big map like this. Yeah,
certainly, and hatch first from sLivko as well, so we're not going to be seeing any early game aggression. This we didn't expect to see any at all, although the extractor going down reasonably early here.
Yeah, it's definitely not for aggression.
No.
It's so difficult. I mean, I've tried it on this map to try any roach bailing attacks. You can do it, sure. I mean, there's no rule that says you can't do it on a big map, but it takes so long for the units to get across the map. It gives Bomber more time to react, and roaches without roach speed early on take forever on a map like Daybreak to get there. So definitely not seeing aggression. So the reason for that gas is kind of two. It's going to be one for speed into map control, denying any form of scouting, denying any form of aggression leaving the base, to put the I may be doing aggression, but obviously I can't, but there is still the option of me.
Yeah.
And number two is just to go straight for speed, straight up to layer, and play from layer initially alone, whether that be Spire, whether that be Infestors. But the Roach Bailing Assault, if it was to happen, it could, but I don't really don't think it's gonna.
It does seem so unlikely, honestly, that he would try something like that. It's one of the worst maps to possibly attempt it on. You know, this is no Steps of War. It takes a while to get across, and it's also very easily scouted, very easily spotted. Roach is not exactly the quickest thing in the world, and if he's able to hold it on a map like Ohana, then he can definitely hold it on a map like Daybreak, so I can't imagine sLivko will be doing that. We'll be finding out certainly in the next couple of minutes what his decision is. In the meantime, Orbital completes, and a nice start here for Bomber as expected, going directly into the reactor and the factory here, so we're going to be seeing Hellion play coming out. Oh, and also going straight into the starport could be drops.
Yeah, well, I think it's just going to be the standard Hellion Banshee play.
It could be that too,
initially early on here. And I have a feeling that we may see mech here on a map like this, especially the ease of access towards the gases, of course, the natural and the third, quite easily taken. But Bomber is going to open up with a reactionary style with Hellions. But on the other hand, we see sLivko, who did get speed, is still in gas with 2, but he's actually building up enough gas to go straight for double evolution chamber, straight for, math in my head, 250 gas early on. So the melee and the carapace upgrade. So as he approaches roughly 200 gas, we'll see double evolution chamber come down. And then by the time they finish, he can research 1-1 and then go straight up to layer here. But with the Hellion and Banshees coming down, we are going to see move now. But as I say about the evolution chambers, 3 gases are taken at once. So he will power through with a lot more gas than initially expected here. But that's just going to be making sure he can get up to layer. He can get roach speed as well if necessary.
There's a scout on the third base there by that initial Hellion, and currently we've got Bomber doing a reasonable job of hiding the complete set of his force. He's got 4 Hellions on the map. He is bringing in Cloak as well for Banshee, so he is fairly committed to this attack. And this is, I mean, it's a very good composition. It can work really well, but I've got to say of late, I've seen ZerG defending it better and better. Yeah,
they're becoming a lot... basically, they understand how it works now. The Hellions are always going to try and run them around. You've got wall-offs now with evolution chambers, as we can see the Roach one evolution chamber, and the second one wall it off. And then, of course, Queens. And especially the layer timing is nailed down now that it completes as the Cloak is ready as well. So ZerG players have just tightened up their own builds now to defend against these kind of assaults. So we'll be hard-pressed, I think, to see many drone kills. But if they do go down, of course, winner.
Very much so. And the first Spore Crawler's on its way up. Interesting that sLivko's not really committing a huge amount to that, but if he's able to just get an Overseer out, then it shouldn't be too much of a problem. He can dispatch it with Queens if he's got the numbers to do so. So I expect to see one coming out from him very, very shortly here. We've got no other follow-up of Banshee either. It's just pure production buildings coming in. There's the Cloak, just out of range of the Spore Crawler. So going to be doing a little bit of damage here. And sLivko doesn't want to leave this mineral line because he knows that that's just more wasted mining time if possible, but this is actually significant already here for Bomber, who takes 6 kills, looking for 7 already, and there's a big Hellion swell at the front here.
I can't believe how many drones he's just killed.
That
and then with the Hellions coming down to the 3rd, he gets a couple more as well, but he just killed so many drones there. There were a very slow reaction time. No creep spread from main to natural, which has delayed the Queens from getting in there, and more drones going down on the natural before the Banshee eventually falls, but that was 13 kills there, and especially as a ZerG player, when you don't drone towards the 3rd base, you say to yourself, I will defend my main and natural, easy peasy without losing any drones, defend and then drone towards my 3rd. And he said that, but still lost 13 drones. That gives Bomber a massive edge in this game. He's equal, if not stronger, in his income right now, especially with mules coming down. That's a really, really good start here for StarTel Bomber.
Well, I mentioned earlier the idea that there was only one Spore Crawler going down. It seems like that was definitely not the number that he needed. Many players do overcommit to Spore Crawlers, which can actually be a mistake. I mean, that's like economic damage in and of itself. When a single Banshee comes in, oh, there's 6 Spores, great, I got you to build 6 Spore Crawlers. That's 6 drones you don't have. That's a lot of money you don't have. That was a win for me. But in this case, it was the exact opposite, and sLivko takes significant damage. Banshee remains in the air. The Hero Banshee went down earlier, but there's still 8 Hellions on the map. That's good map control here for Bomber. Great production for Bomber. He takes his 3rd, and everything is going right here.
Yeah, and I mean, sLivko actually has no vision on the map whatsoever. He's losing overlords left and right because of this Viking that's been added in. He doesn't know if the 3rd's been taken or not, and the Hellions will deny him ever finding out unless an Overseer gets over there, which the Vikings are trying to shut down as well. So this is really, really good play from Bomber. The problem with sLivko's play right now is he's not researching 2-2, I can see. Because he's been starved on resources, he's trying to get pathogen glands down, he's trying to build infestors, he's trying to build drones, and he hasn't hit his good 2-2 timing, which is going to give the edge in upgrades closer and closer towards Bomber here.
Which is the last thing you want to do when it comes to Bomber. He's very upgrade-centric, pretty much always double engineering bay, powering through, armory timing straight into 2-2, having these really, really powerful marine forces, which is generally what he relies on. We're going up to Hive on the 12-minute mark here. with economic damage having been done, what do you reckon to this move?
But he's cut out the carapace, as we can see. There's no +2 carapace. He's only got a limited amount of infestors. He's cutting corners to get to the same place he would have liked to be. But his army's going to be weaker because of that. Without the carapace there, he only has a handful of infestors. If any assault was to come in right now, a main assault, he only has a handful of units here. So sLivko's cutting corners to get up to where he's comfortable, which is towards the Great Spire, towards the hive here.
Now, map control has been taken back here by sLivko, who was able to get a reasonable fungal, not a great one. He would have loved to have been able to grab all of the Hellions, but Bomber was just a little bit too quick off the mark and was able to get most of those out, and now Bomber enters drop territory. And this is a large map. It's difficult to defend against drops, especially when you take your 4th base. There's lots of options here. Some aggression coming in towards the 3rd, and this is going to be a cancel by the looks of it. No chance that that's going to go up.
Yeah, nice cancel there by Bomber, keeping on top of the Zerg, who's trying to obviously expand right now. We do have the carapace coming in eventually after all these, or after the hive is done, the Baneling Nest is down, more infestors coming down, but it is quite delayed. And Bomber's keeping on top of things right now. He's not moving out, or he will want to move out shortly to take a new base in the center of the map to kind of filter his entire army. But for now, he's content with doing these small drops, which are working.
They're working perfectly, actually. The attack towards the 3rd was blunted. We had a bunch of Blings have to go back and clear that up, as well as a few Roaches here and there. And great position there for Bomber, honestly. That is, once again, a great cancel, an incredibly efficient engagement, and a couple of Marines going out, and they're going to get some good information here. They're going to see infestors, they're going to see the size of that force, and I think bunker-wise he's more than prepared. So unless he makes a mistake here, I don't see this aggression here from sLivko working at all. I imagine sLivko's just going to try and hold the center of the map and start to try and get that critical count of Broodlords going.
And another drop coming in here, the same drop again, and basically the reason why these are so successful is because the majority of the units in infestors are on the other side of the map. This one's been trapped, but I think it's going to get away here. Even though the Queen's going to do damage, it should be able to get away.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, he manages to get away. No chain fungal available there. Nicely done. Bomber must be grinning to himself as a result of that.
And as mentioned,
here he comes
this
again.
is perfect. He just has to keep dropping. All the units are there. And basically, sLivko's saying, you're not going to take a 4th base. And Bomber's saying, all right, I won't take a 4th base. I'm just going to keep dropping you then if all your units on the other side of the map. He's got 3 active drops right now, which is more than you would usually have.
Big surge here to the front. Does absolutely nothing, and quite frankly was ill-advised. A decent fungal there takes out a bunch of Marines, but he loses some Roaches in the process, and the tank count is still very, very high here for Bomber. Drop towards the main has been delayed. It's on its way over there at the moment. A couple of Lings and an Infestor ready to receive it. Might be enough to stop that from doing some damage.
And now we have Bomber taking the 4th base, or will be very shortly here, moving out with an army and dropping on the 3rd and the main. He's all over the place right now, moving forward, but sLivko is going to intercept this army, but there's no infestors there, which means the Marines will slaughter everything. And Bomber, oh my god, he is so good. He's playing so well here.
He really, really is. This drop is going to get shut down here by sLivko, but he's been stretched all over the map right now and wasn't able to efficiently engage the main army in the center here. The tanks did not go down. The Marine count is high and is continuing to get much, much higher. The Greater Spire is now done. But this is my concern. Bomber's already prepared for it. He's building 2 Vikings at a time. He's going for +1 air weapons. And honestly, with the amount of damage that's been done to sLivko's economy and his inability to mine from a 4th base, the Broodlord count's not going to be that high.
That's right, that's indeed. He's so starved of money, and another base goes down here in the center, and Bomber doesn't even care about these units. He's going to spread out, he's going to do as much as damage as possible. He will want to get a Pantry Fortress back at home, add on more. The Ghost Academy's coming down, so he's going to get Ghosts to MP the Infestors. Marines and Vikings will do the rest as another base is about to fall. There's the back home units, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, this is what everybody wanted to see.
How good is Bomber right now is the question that some people were asking and now has been answered. He is phenomenal, and he has played a flawless game up to this point. Fungals go down the tanks. Tanks don't really care about that. The Marines, on the other hand, do, and they're able to avoid it. Now he must engage the Broodlords. This is difficult. He's going to get surrounded here, lose a few tanks. He needs the Viking count, which he currently doesn't have. He's moving in more Marines here, and the Broodlord count isn't that high.
The spread of Marines, look how good it is.
It is pretty good. The fungal on the left flank will collapse it, but there's plenty more Marines coming in. Viking count is getting disturbingly low. That worries me a little bit. Great transfuse here by sLivko. Excellent transfuse by sLivko. And the Broodlords live, and suddenly Bomber is on the back foot and pushed backwards.
He is pushed back. I think he should have left a long time ago. There was no reason to go into the 3rd base, to be honest. I think he should have just retreated, taken the gases in his middle base, and just built up more and more of an army. But he's keeping the pressure on. Remember, tanks at this stage of the game become irrelevant. So
Yes.
that's the counter argument. Oh, yes, I could have gone back to save everything, but what am I going to use my tanks for at this stage of the game? I'm not playing against Ultras, I'm playing against air. Therefore, he's keeping active on the map with these tanks. We'll probably dart in again here while building a new army back at home. We have Marines coming in, we have Ghosts coming in, we have Vikings coming in. Oh my god, there's 3 board banelings there.
Are you kidding me?
I think sLivko's forgot about it like we did.
See the little cleaning droid, he's desperately trying to warn them, but unfortunately he's not able to communicate in the human language. You know, there's something says that Bomber knows about this, but I know he does not. It's just like...
Oh god, he just ran all over them, and sLivko wasn't even holding them, to be honest.
No, he was not ready for the use of that at all, although he might still be able to get that strike in. Benny's coming in, well defended.
He definitely must know now, he was just
surely,
there.
yeah, he's right on top of them at the moment. He's waiting for that opportunity to get the good detonation, but he's gonna have to make it work alongside an attack. He doesn't want to just detonate it.
I was just looking through his vision, he was holding his bailings. He knows exactly where they are.
Oh my god. Oh! sLivko cannot be happy about that, and unfortunately these days borrowed bailing is kind of a roll of the dice, and in Vegas that can be a risky business. It hasn't helped him thus far. Now,
trust me, I know about rolling the dice.
Yes,
it's not good.
You do. You need to stop that, Apollo, seriously.
But never mind. We're in Vegas, man.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, including the contents of your wallet.
Yeah, it's not good. But anyway, this game does continue on as the Brutal Army has started. It is rising up now. God damn it, these bailings.
If only I could see inside the mind of those banelings right now, the most frustrated banelings on the planet. I mean, these 4 changelings are doing more than those banelings are right now. That's not good at all. Bomber now stimming forward and finds precisely nothing, but he's going to get this double drop right into the main here. And sLivko has got to do something with these banelings here. He's holding on, trying to max out. Bomber's already maxed, though. He doesn't care. He's working on +2. He's adding on more command center. Never will you take that base, says Bomber. And now stimming into the main, he moves in, looking to...
Oh, the great
Spire goes down. Infestation pick going down as well. Great tech sniping. A huge baneling detonation goes in. The Broodlords are the threat here. Where are the Vikings?
It doesn't matter. These units in the center of a giveaway, he doesn't want them anymore. So he's basically throwing them in the middle just to get rid of a couple of units.
So much tech going down here.
Spawning pool, greatest spy, infestation pit, the base at the north, gone down. He's trading off these units. He's got a great economy. Bomber can easily take a 5th base in the bottom right very shortly. Stim Marines again here, running here. They're going to get into the drone line before sLivko's available. Can he get hatch?
Well, he can't build anything. Surely not. No, the Fungus is going to come in from the back. The problem is he can't build anything. You know, I've been saying this for a year and a half, Apollo, and eventually what's going to happen is they're going to build 2 spawning pools in different places, but that is not going to happen today. And as you can see, he can't build any units at the moment.
Yeah, that's right. And these banelings have still not been detected,
Why?
even though there's turrets around there. Just haven't quite noticed them.
I mean, he could actually just march into that mineral. Oh, wow. If he gets those ghosts, that would be the best thing in the world. But the question is he going to get them? No.
A lot of ghosts here. Ghost, Viking, Raven. Oh no, the turrets. I mean, the Ravens have
the Raven picks it off. The most useless banelings in the history of StarCraft 2. Well, maybe that moon game counts, but no. The 2nd most useless banelings in the history of StarCraft 2. Oh dear, here comes the Great Aspire once again. His forces are not maxed out yet because he wants more Broodlords. He can't get them right now.
And Bomber's taking his sweet, sweet time
and why not?
A very strong army.
Let's
Look at
get
his
some
upgrades.
Raven energy. You know, why not?
Getting rid of SCVs as well. Doesn't need them. He's got orbitals. And he's about to be at 2-2 in his air weapons. And he has +3 weapons on the way. He has a lot of Ravens. He has a lot of Ghosts. And this is what we talked about before the series even begun, is that Bomber is a player that does this. He will split the map in half.
Yeah.
He will build an army that he's comfortable. And to be honest, I wouldn't even be surprised if the Fusion Core was to come down very shortly as well, as he's taken another base to start to build just the ultimate army to take down the Zerg.
He could very well do that. As you can see, this medevac very, very badly damaged. The Marines pedaling as hard as they can to make sure it stays in the air. You cannot have this base, says Bomber. Once again, nuclear missile and 5 command centers. Very standard build coming in here from Bomber. This is the Bomber we've known for the last couple of years, and this is going to end in a bang one way or the other.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be in Bomber's favor at the moment.
Looks like it at the moment.
You know, every time we say that, somehow, some way, the Broodlords still manage to survive, but they don't have upgrades. As you can see, they only have +1 carapace, if I'm not mistaken, compared to 2-2 on the air, and then combined with all the ghosts, which are going to EMP, they have snipes, there's ravens around, flying around, there's going to be auto turret harassment, there's going to be Seeker missile bombs onto the actual army as well, and then at the end of the day, there's still 37 Marines underneath all of that as well. So a very strong army from Bomber.
He can't have this one either, says Bomber. He's going to go take that out, and with +2 air weapons, that's going to die very quickly. This is a ridiculously good play here from Bomber, and sLivko's being pulled all over the place, like, what do I do? What do I do? And the more time he takes, the more energy is being built up on all these Terrancaster units, and we will also see this perfect army composition, nuclear missile being complete, +3 air weapons being complete. We don't need any SCVs anymore because we have about 27 orbital commands.
That's true. And, well, I think Bomber is getting very brave. I think he's starting to puff out those feathers because he's going to move out shortly.
Well, he should.
His upgrades are coming. There's the fusion core as expected. He'll take the south base very shortly as well. He's got the turrets coming down. He'll take this and make sure that he wins this game. He wants to go forward 2-0 on to the next round. Falling down into the loser bracket, which unfortunately Root Todd has to do, is going to be very hard. 2 ghosts are moving forward. Goodbye, Infestors.
Yep, that could be a very easy set of snipes that take 1, takes 2. Quick reaction there by sLivko. And of course, the looming threat of that nuclear missile ready, usually used, of course, to force the Zerg player out of position, but who knows? Bomber has been absolutely fantastic with nuclear missiles in the past. We'll see what he can pull off. It looks like he's finally taken the base up to the top, but the question is it going to matter with an army like that against him?
That is a very strong army, and to be honest, usually if this was any other Terran player, I'd be like, you know, it's a good army, but can he control all these different weapons he has?
Yes, it's
Bomber can, because he's so used to it. He's been playing this style, playing with this kind of army composition for so very long.
Here it comes, and this is going to be combined with drops coming. This entire engagement is going to be ridiculous. Seeker missile onto the Overlords, and everything that was in there is dead, so no Baneling drops in, and a huge supply block already. And don't worry, he's got more, he's got way more than that. That's more caster units sniped off here by the Ghost. He's being very, very careful not to get caught out of position. The Viking count is massive. He's got +3 weapon. Nuclear missile is in the air right now.
It is in the air. Where is it going to land, though? Right there.
Yep, sLivko knows. He knows it's fine. You know, this wasn't supposed to land. If it does, it's a bonus. It's about moving the Zerg army out of position so he can go and say, oh, it's that base in the northwest. A second nuclear missile has been launched.
That is right. And this is great zoning here from Bomber, saying, all right, come defend this base, man.
Yep.
Come defend it, and if you do, I'm going to nuke you. And, well, another base does fall down, another nuke does land as well, and this battle continues through. Marines have broken this left-hand side, will break down that base.
Here comes the large flank. That's still a very dangerous force of Broodlords. Bear that in mind. Upgrade count is looking better for sLivko than it was earlier. Huge ghost count, and send a massive EMP on all of the Infestors at the front.
Vikings are going to destroy everything.
Oh, here it comes. Seeker missile! Oh, Broodlords are absolutely obliterated. But a huge fungal coming in here from sLivko, and that's a lot of Vikings that are about to die. But the supply count tells the story here. 182 to 104 falling rapidly. Battle cruiser operational coming into the center, and now these Corruptors are about to have a very bad day.
Oh my God, Bomber.
GG!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to IPL 5 in Las Vegas. Bomber is here, and he's playing well. 2-0 versus one of the most dangerous Zerg players in the European scene, especially in the later stages of a game. That's where sLivko's comfortable, not today.
Bomber bringing the fire right here to IPL in this first matchup, and if we see any play even close to that in the remainder of his games, then he is going to be one to watch out for in this bracket. That was incredible stuff. Really patient, and, well, the fireworks went off at the end there. That was beautiful to watch as a Terran player. I'm sorry my bias is showing, but holy hell, I hate Broodlords so much, and they are now dead.
I think a lot of people hate Broodlords, Total Biscuit, and Bomber was the one that made us all happy at the end of the day.
He brought it. He brought it.
He
That
did.
was wonderful play there. And sLivko played as well as he possibly could have against someone of that caliber, and Bomber just proving beyond the shadow of a doubt that he is, without question, back. His play is polished. His Terran versus Zerg is phenomenal, and that's not even technically his best matchup.
Yeah.
His TVP is nothing short of unstoppable. So that's a great start for him. Knocks down one of the top-tier foreigners early on.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I can't believe it either, camera. It's amazing, isn't it?
He's that good. And, well, Bomber's here and will stay within this tournament, moves on to winners round 2.
Oh, yeah.
And will advance on to the next part of this tournament. Of course, there's many different rounds that each of these players have to work through. It's going to be a difficult tournament, but Bomber's one of the favorites. Definitely after that kind of performance, definitely one of the favorites to go the distance in this full stacked tournament.
Without question. And this is, of course, VIP day here.